So the album came out today. What did you expect from the vaccines? Are you relieved that it's out? Are you happy it's out? Are you a bit nervous?
I think all three really. Last night felt like my birthday, but it kind of feels like you're throwing a massive like the biggest party in the world ever, but no one's told you that they're definitely going to come.
Yeah, I think it's just like literally every emotion that you can possibly sort of go through. Most of them quite positive, but not all of them. But it's just it's just one of those. There's no secrets anymore. There's nothing that you can hold back on. It's all there, and it's all for people to just.
We've got something for people to actually judge us on now.
Yeah.
Not that really matters, but I think, I mean, I've been making music for 10 years. I think you probably have for just as long, and I never thought I'd get to make an album. So it's just sort of exciting, really.
And you've had obviously a lot of media buzz around you. Did that put the pressure on when you were kind of...
Luckily not, because we'd sort of written and sort of we'd written all of it and arranged all of it and recorded most of it when the media started to sort of hone in on us. So it was actually, fortunately, I mean, I can say really proudly as well that we've made the record we would have made had no one really given a shit, which I think is hard to do, and I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like what I again going back to the release date is that I like the sort of start of a new era, because all of those sort of questions and conversations about hype and about expectations and about all of that is just, they're invalid now, because now there isn't anything to hold back on, sort of, I like it.
The title of the album, is that kind of dig at the kind of meaning?
Well, I suppose it is kind of. I mean, look, you can never live up to other people's expectations with anything you do in life. But that said, I mean, I think it's quite a clever title, because obviously it's a take on post-breakup sex lyric, and kind of reminds us of those classic 60s kind of introducing albums like Meet the, More from the... and then I suppose it fits quite nicely.
With the sort of, the tongue-in-cheek thing was just a bit sort of, that was like just a factor of it, but it was just, we found it quite funny, but that wasn't the reason why we picked it. It was more because it was like a homage to very classic. It's a modern take on a classic British, like, debut album title, I think.
Speaking of kind of that sort of influence, on the album, what were your influences kind of when you were writing, recording?
I suppose everyday life.
Yeah, I think that question is quite difficult to answer on a first record, because obviously when you're doing a first record, you're drawing on influences that you've been going through from start, and like we've all had like a very sort of, we've all been in music for years and years and years, so we've all failed, we've all had, we've all toured, we've all done lots of stuff, and I think it's quite difficult to sort of answer that in a sentence. It's like, if you want us to talk about bands, we can probably sit here for 3 hours.
It's true, actually. It's kind of a friend of mine said, oh, your album sounds like, I mean, obviously, it's not strictly true, because obviously there's a very big input from 3 other people, but it sums up quite nicely. My friend said, oh, your new band sounds like a mixture of everything you've ever done. And like, I suppose that sums it up well, really, because it is a culmination of all 4 of our influences from sort of year zero, really. I think like just everything came into making this record, didn't it? Like,
yeah, but okay, for like conscious influences, we're all big fans of like classic pop music, and we really sort of wanted to sort of like take the elements of like classic beautiful pop music and sort of make them ours. So we were very conscious about like not weighing the songs down with too much playing, and just just literally play what is needed to be played to make the song deliver itself, and let the song sort of live on its own, and sort of just make the wheels to carry it, And so there's like loads of influences. Are you having fun there? You look like you're having fun.
I'm always having fun.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
That kind of fans or new listeners kind of get from the album? Is there kind of a vibe or a certain sound you want them to get?
I don't really know. I actually really like the idea of kind of it's actually one of the reasons why we left it so bare, kind of in terms of instrumentation. I love the idea of people being able to take what they want, really, and I don't think, I mean, we've definitely tried to be as direct as possible, and the songs are geared towards and catered for playing live, but I just sort of, I don't know, I wouldn't really want any. I think that if you just want to have a dance, then you know, you can take them at face value, but hopefully sonically and lyrically and stuff, there's slightly more depth than maybe people think on first listen. But in terms of what I want people to take from it, I suppose we kind of know. I guess, what do you want people to take from it?
I don't know. I don't know. I never thought about that, because like I think making this record was a very cathartic experience for all of us, because when we started the Vaccines, we were all in a bit of a disillusioned place and in our own individual lives, and it sort of spoke to us, because it's just on this very sort of primal level. It was just like it sort of stood for the reason for why you start playing an instrument as a kid. You know, you want to make music, you want to play an instrument because you want to make loud noise with a friend in a garage, and that's sort of what it spoke to us. But we were quite like we were all sort of in our own way quite disillusioned, you know, like, and I think, I don't know, it was a very cathartic experience to do it, and I hope that comes across, and I hope that I hope it's got a universal message. I really hope so, and I really think it does.
Do you have any favourite tracks from the album? Any personal?
My favourite track on the album is A Lack of Understanding.
Well, it's a difficult question to answer on the first day of the release. I've listened to the record 5 times today. I've bought 5 copies, and I'm pretty much in love with all of it at the moment. So I can't really answer.
Wow, I haven't even got a copy of the album yet.
Maybe you haven't of his.
No. I'm not giving.
I just thought it might be a bit weird, like the sort of snooping around the shop. I was just scared about snooping around the shop buying our own record.
I walked into H&V this morning, and I bought 3 copies, but that's fine because I'm a bass player. Nobody would ever. And there was loads of like really sort of like mean, no, sort of angry looking people because they had to wear these horrible T-shirts saying "What did you expect from the Vaccines?"
Yeah.
And I felt like a perpetrator when I walked in. I was like,
Did any of them say to you, "You're in the band, aren't you"?
No. Nobody did. But when Pete did the same, they said, "Would you like a T-shirt?" And yeah.
You first started touring together last year, like properly. Obviously, you only started together last year.
Yeah.
But you were all in bands before, all artists before. Do you think that helped when it came to?
I do. I think in terms of like, you know, having confidence in ourselves as a live band, and also having confidence in kind of not jumping into things until we really felt we were ready and had like a live set worth of strong material. And I think we all drew on past mistakes as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's just as much about knowing what you want and knowing what you don't want. And I think those past experiences sort of teach you that more than anything else. And I think on all fronts, whether it was being a live band or whether it was being a just band or like a rehearsing band or whatever, I think a recording band, we all benefited a lot from those experiences. I think so.
Back to kind of the media buzz as well. Your first London show was completely sold out, and you had lots of obviously special guests there and journalists, and people were turned away at the door. But does that kind of put a lot of pressure on for your live shows? Because now obviously you've got kind of all these people saying, like you've got Zaino saying things about you, and you on Jules Holland before.
Yeah, I mean we try not to sort of pay too much attention to that stuff, and I think, once you start second guessing what you think people see in you as a good thing or a bad thing, then it can really affect you. So I think we've just, those people said those things about us because I guess that they genuinely saw them in us, and so I guess we haven't felt any need to change or cater what we do. And some people will agree, some people won't. Some people will go back on what they originally said. But overall, yeah, I think it's just about. It's not really who's there, it's just the fact that people are there and you just got to try and connect with them really and not really worry about any of that sort of stuff.
You're off to America tomorrow,
yeah.
South by Southwest. Are you excited to go to America?
I can't wait, yeah. I'm really excited. I haven't got my head around the fact we're going yet.
No.
It's an awfully long way to be going in less than 12 hours.
And we just came back to London. We only came back to London about 48 hours ago. So it's a lot of travelling. So you sort of forget about it, and that's the reason why we have this man, because he makes sure that we show up on time where we need to be and do what we need to do. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be warm in Texas.
It's going to be hot. You're going to burn up like a tomato.
I'm going to burn up like a.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know what.
I've never even seen you in heat.
And what else are your plans for 2011?
We're just going to tour, and now this record's out, maybe we could start thinking about writing another one. But for now, we're going to tour it. Yeah. see the world, hopefully. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.